Yo! Welcome back to another edition of the Cruising Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Cruz, and today is Sunday, August 13th. Goodness gracious, we're already possibly midway through August. Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. With today, as you know, Sunday, normally, what do? Warrior Cast with the magical Michael Carrell. Michael,
Oh,
how you doing
thanks, man.
today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. And where you can find the Cruising Podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, and anywhere else you can find podcast needs. That's where you can find the Cruising Podcast. Also where you can find latest updates to the show is on Instagram at Cruising Podcast, also on Twitter at Nicetown Finance. And Michael, where can they find you?
They can find me on all social media platforms at producer Mike 975. And then you can find the podcast Comic Cast on all your favorite podcast platforms. COMICAST Comic Cast. We release weekly, and yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, Comic Cast. So what have y'all been talking about lately?
The last episode was just kind of going through the headlines as of late, specifically like with Wonder Woman, the Loki trailer, some new Fantastic Four rumors, just different things that are happening in the news. And I speak with because Jong was out for this last one, issue 497. So I had Leo Rydell of Geekly Goods on YouTube and Cinemania World and the Cinemania World podcast. Leo jumped on and we just kind of went through the news as of late. So folks can check that out. That released this past, what was that, Wednesday? So folks can check that out. And issue 498 of Comic Cast should be out by Monday, August. What's tomorrow? August 14th. So,
Already,
yeah.
2 more episodes till you get to number 500.
And do we have anything planned for 500? No.
Yeah. I just know Jong is bringing the cake.
That's all I know. That's
He doesn't know it, but we know it.
We've known it for weeks on Warrior Cast. I don't know about him.
Yeah, he needs to. Hopefully he listens and knows that.
Exactly. He should have known already.
That's his fault. That's how I feel about it.
Exactly.
Already. So we're gonna get right into this episode, the penultimate episode of season 3 of Warrior. This was one of the shorter episodes, if I remember correctly, because I only saw 45 minutes on my little timer. Normally they're about 50, maybe 55 minutes per episode. So, but just to give my initial reaction to it, I think that this was a very good episode to set up all the chess pieces for the season finale. You know how you should do it with the penultimate episode, with the episode before the last. It set up all the chess pieces to where now we are going to have pretty much nothing but action probably next episode, which I am very, very intrigued by. What did you think about it, Michael?
I did notice that too. I mean I didn't notice the time, but I did feel shorter. And you pointing out that it was 45 minutes makes sense because for one, it was my notes were a bit shorter for this one. But it was good, man. It really did set up the pieces for the different battles that we're about to have in episode 9, because you saw full on rivalries boil over to what seems to be the big one in terms of Assam going against the Hopway in the finale.
It seems like this episode was really showing us everyone struggling between the worlds that they are in, like especially Hong going between, his what he calls his fantasy world and being still continuing to be a gangster. And then you have Assam still trying to that's really just finally vocalized the struggle between continuing being Hopway or being outside of the Hopway. We finally seen that vocalized. And then we also see, for a very brief minute or two is Mai Ling and Li Young. I don't think we only saw them for that one scene. That
Yeah.
was a very, very powerful scene. And I think in their struggle between, it looks like Li Young has left the Long Z or just threw down his jacket, one of the two. But I'm very. I mean, like I said, I think that we got to see a lot of struggle throughout this episode with people with their identity, which was. It seems like it's been the overall theme of this season. Like people really,
Mhm.
everybody really struggling with who they want to be, especially O'Leary too. Forgot about O'Leary, which we'll get to a
Yeah.
little bit later. But O'Leary struggling, wanting to be either the politician or the gangster. Which one you want to be? And I think that this episode alone definitely has shed a light on that issue, that pretty much that overarching issue throughout this whole season.
Yeah, it's something that we've spoken to about Assam, and he's never really felt like he's been a Hopway, like a hatchet man, like we've talked about. And a toy in the episode that they had in this episode, they have a brief discussion because they are really close friends, and she basically tells him, "Yeah, you've never been Hopway," and he's come to that realization because it's like, do I stick with the hop way or do I lose this person that I love?
Mhm,
And for him, at first it was a choice, but now that Yan Mi is in danger, it's not a choice anymore. He's got to take care of her because otherwise her life is destroyed, right?
mhm.
Because if she doesn't give up the plates, then she goes to jail for however long. If she does give up the plates, the Hopway or the Long Z would go after her and probably kill her. So she's stuck, and Assam's her only out. And Assam is could have left her, but he's not because he cares. Again, he's a caring person at the end of the day, and he's going to do what's right in his heart for people he cares about, or just his people that he feels are being mistreated in any way. So it's it makes sense that Assam is going to go that route. And
Mhm.
I was telling, I forget who I was telling this to. Anytime Assam fights for what he believes in, he's nearly unbeatable. When he's fighting for something that he's like, you know, it doesn't it doesn't work. Like like we said, the fight with him and Lee Yong, he's fighting for the Tong, but Lee Yong had that in the bag from the jump, right?
Mhm.
This one, Assam is fighting for Yan Mi. It's over for anybody
Yeah,
that crosses paths with him. The only thing is guns or numbers. Like that's the only thing that would stop him.
that's what it's looking like right now. It's like this we're finally going to get the riff, that final riff between young June and Assam. I thought it was going to be because of Father June dying, and which was,
Mhm.
sorry to say it, sorry guys, but we've seen it in this episode. I I want to say I'm surprised that that's the way he went out, but now I kind of think about it, it might have been the only way he should have went out. Like he said, you should have did this when you took over the tongue, because that's what he told him to do when he took over. Is like, you better kill me, because they're going to forever, you're going to forever be looking behind your back, and they're forever going to be looking behind you to see what I'm going to do. So it is a telling sign where young June has to be the one to end Father June's life, and possibly get more respect from the Hop way. I think this is going to lead to him getting a lot more respect from them, and maybe Assam losing favor a little bit too with the Hop way,
Well,
especially if he's
he's
giving up these plates.
Young June is I don't know. Like obviously he's broken up by what happened with his dad, you
Hmm.
know, and having to do what he did to his dad to basically let him die like as he wants. He wants him to die. Father June wants to die with dignity, as he says,
Hmm.
and he doesn't want to go out like a blabbling man, like we saw in the last episode where he's hallucinating and just doing different things. And he wants to go out on his semi on his own terms. I mean, you're going out at the behest of his own son, which is that's a tough spot to put young June in, no matter no matter what. So but young June, obviously he's broken up by it, and then at the funeral he's broken up and everything, but he feels calm, like weirdly calm towards the end of the episode, and like things are under control for him. So I wonder if Father June's death has maybe, I don't know what the word is, inspired him to
Yeah.
do more and be more, because it did feel very like, he was sad in the funeral. He was sad, obviously, initially when it happened, but something was, I don't want to say amiss, but it was just something was like, he's fairly confident right now. And he does say about, I love you, Dad. And his dad doesn't quite say it the same, but he just says, my son, my son. And I think young
Mhm.
June obviously took that as I love you as well. So that maybe fueled him even more, like just thinking about that aspect.
Yeah, he's like a huge weight was taken, like a monkey finally got off of his back because it seemed like
Mhm.
he was going to have to struggle with, all right, well, I gotta take care of him and take care of the Hopway, and now that that part of the weight is taken off. Now he can fully give all his energy to the Hopway and try to, make as much money as possible, especially with the counterfeits. Um, yeah, and I wonder, like, because he knows that Hung and at this point still Assam is on his side, and he's not by himself in a way. He doesn't feel that way, and that might have been another um contributing factor. Like, all right, well, I'm not alone anymore. Like, I know that I got my brothers with me because, like, when they
Mhm.
all had to drink together, like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy that Hung came like months and automatically became like their number three. I
Right.
think it's pretty cool. Like, and with Hung especially, him struggling between his fantasy world with Marcel and then also still being a gangster. We saw all that come into play at the cabaret with the cop that had the guns to his face. What do you think about that scene?
That Hong went from 0 to 100 real quick, and I get it. Like, I get it, but I felt like he was just saying, like, 2 seconds ago that it was like, "This is great, I don't want it ever to end." I kinda wish he had, like, tried to play it like, "Mm, I'm not like this dude, if he keeps talking to me, I'm gonna bash him in the head," but he just went instant. And I mean, I get it because of what happened, obviously, just between him and the Tong and everything. But it just went from, "I love being here, I love being with you," to, "This is the real world." Like, it blew up real quick. It blew up a little faster than I expected. And if I
Hmm.
had to nitpick, I would maybe nitpick on that, but I mean, something had to happen between Marcel and Hong because they were too happy together. Like, there was no way that Hong was going to leave. I thought the choice would be Marcel's getting ready to leave his residency and singing, and that would force Hong to choose between the Tong or Marcel. And now that I don't know, does he try and go back to Marcel, or does Assam going for Yanmi, does that inspire him to go for Marcel and not go with the Tong? Because I don't know. It's an interesting spot to put Hong in. But it was like, I wrote on my notes, it was like, there goes that happy romance. Sad.
What was funny when they were having the drink when they were all having the drink together. This is the first time Assam is hearing about Marcel and like the
Yeah.
boyfriend. He was like, yeah, Hung has a boyfriend. He was like, and then he just looks at him, and
Mhm.
I think that it's going to come down to I think really what's going to come down is that the Hopway with Young June. Young June's going to be by himself at the end of this. I think that some way, somehow, hopefully Hung like stays in that fantasy world because he's known all his life as being part of the Tongs, and that
Mhm.
that might be the thing that pushes him away. Is that like maybe Assam also pushing away from Young June and the Hopway? I hope that he has a happy ending to his story or a happy, because we're gonna get a season four, so it doesn't really matter. But we'll get we're hoping that has this happy storyline for himself, because if there's one person in the whole show that has, I guess, seen the worst of life, is definitely Hong, and him finally seeing that other side of life and him loving it. I think that's where he kind of pushes away from the hop wave finally, and then Assam trying to push away from the hop wave because of Yami. I have really, really deep reservations about what's going to happen to her. In
Yeah,
my
I
opinion.
don't, man, I don't have good vibes. I don't have good vibes for her in this next episode. There, like with Hong, I feel like there's still a chance for him and Marcel to like reconcile in some way.
Mhm.
I don't think that storyline, maybe it's over for this season, but I don't know that it's over completely, because I could see Hong going back and like I said, being inspired by Assam and what he chooses to do. But Assam going with Yan Mi, like on
Mhm.
paper, like this plan that you got going, it could work, but like in my notes, I was writing, "Oh, this plan's gonna blow up. This plan is not gonna work in whatever way." And I mean, we already see seemingly a problem with the the new Happy Jack, or I guess Isaac crew that's in the works right
Yeah.
now, because it was like, wonder what they're gonna how they're going to affect that situation. Is Chow going to use them to maybe uh like get the tongs out from under the cops, like maybe like approach it that way, or
Mhm.
is it Chow just going to blow everything up with turning Isaac's crew loose onto the ice factory that morning?
See, I think with the child situation, I think he's actually trying to well, he was trying to save his own life for sure, but
Yeah, for sure.
I think he found a way to maybe help, um Assam throughout, through them going to steal the plates. Like, all right, yeah, the cops are going to go do it now. It's going to look like that Assam set them up with an ambush with the new new Isaac crew.
Yeah.
And but it seems like Chow is trying to cover the tracks with the hop way, with the
Mhm.
cops, and like
Mhm.
them maybe going after Yami. Now, in every TV show that I've watched, whenever you tell somebody to, meet me at the train,
Yeah.
normally that person doesn't make it to the train, or they make
Yep.
it to the train and they leave on their own. It's
Yep.
always been that type of two-way street with that. And so that's why I'm completely worried about her.
I'm very worried about her as well. Like like maybe she makes the train, but Assam's not making that train. Like it's one of the two. They're not both making the train. There's like for me zero chance that that's happening in the next episode. I hope I'm wrong because I want a happy ending, but this show's gonna rip my heart out and not have that be a happy ending. It's gonna have Assam getting stuck by the cops or the Hopway or whoever, and it's going to present a problem in some way for them to be happy. And maybe I hope Yanmi doesn't get killed, but there's a high probability that she does not make it out of the next episode. And whether that's the cops, whether that's the Hopway, I mean, it could go any route, honestly.
Yeah, that's what that's the I'm very worried about her, for worried about their romance and everything. Even though I know like it's supposed to be a toy and a song, in my it's always been my
No,
my
it's
thought.
Nelly. It's Nelly and a toy.
Nelly came out of nowhere. Oh my! But I forgot that,
Mhm,
that Strickland didn't know about a toy. He only
mhm.
knew about Nelly, and that, well, I'm sorry, just in case not to confuse everybody. So Lai went to go fight Strickland to begin this episode. Like pretty much killed all his bodyguards. Very good fight scene. I always enjoy good sword fight, especially two contrasting styles, like Strickland, the old like English stabby, like fencing style, and then
Mhm,
Lie with the Chinese kind of like the dance fighting with the
mhm.
swords. It's kind of, I always enjoyed that style of fighting with the swords too. Like they always fought with one hand and just swinging around there. It's coolest style ever. But in the beginning of this episode, you see those two conflicting styles go against each other. Really, Strickland cheated because he threw a glass at her face, which is, I thought it was kind of whack. I mean, you kind of ruined
Not
the fight
cool.
now. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sorry you were losing, loser, but you're gonna throw a piece of glass. That's rude. But
Yeah.
it was a really good fight scene to begin. I wonder if they cut down time with that one, because the last thing we see is like her swinging the sword, and then that's the part we see in the 30-second clip is her jumping and doing that, and then all of a sudden you see the title screen come. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I I did a big capital O with the underscore and another capital O of like surprise face, like, and then why would you cut away? I was like, no, I want to see the end of this fight. Like, let me see it. And I mean, it didn't go. Obviously, the fight didn't go as I would have wanted because Lai is laid up. She's just destroyed. Which I'm glad I didn't see that part, but I really wanted to see her at least get a couple more hits in because man, that was a cool like jump off the thing and then jump in the air and then she was gonna come down and like that was cool, man. And I was just like, no, don't cut away. But I'm glad they cut away from they like I didn't think she was gonna be alive. Like I thought she was dead when they delivered her to Nellie's doorstep. I thought for sure she would be dead. I'm glad
Mhm.
she's not dead, but a toy's coming after you.
Oh yeah, and she's 100% this time, and I think that he's in now. Now he's dealing with real swordsman, and
And
he's
and sorry to cut you off.
okay.
And Nellie is full go for her to do that, right? Like
Mhm.
a toy says something about justice, and when Nellie says yes, a toy's like, "Did you just agree to what I think you just agreed to? Like, did
You
you?
know what I do, right?
You right? You are you giving me the go ahead? Because I will do it." And that's what happened. But it was funny to see Nelly basically like she was 100% with it, right? Like that's how I read it as he deserves justice, and she's like, yep. And the only thing she didn't do was just go, "Here's your sword, handle him." Like that's the only thing she didn't do. But she basically gave her the green light to go slash Strickland.
Yeah, and I hope she does. I really do. I think that it's gonna sound like I know I watched the 30-second clip. Normally I don't watch the 30-second clips, but I watched it this time. I think the scene that we saw with her is the last scene. I think that's gonna be like
Mm.
his little like his all his walls are coming down. Especially,
Mhm.
you pissed off O'Leary, you've pissed off a toy. Nelly might be coming at you from a different way. And I don't think I always forget his name. Goodness gracious, the mayor,
Oh, Buckley.
Buckley. I think Buckley's just gonna say, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Thank you
Mhm.
for your
Mhm.
votes.
Right, yeah, that's
and that's all his walls. And because he's the one that painted him he painted himself in this corner by like going back on his word with O'Leary, which we'll talk about soon. Pissing, I mean, going after Nelly physically, tearing down the Sonoma, and then also, you don't know it, but he doesn't know it, but you gravely injured a toy's number two, like her prize pupil. So Ooh, ah, his storyline is starting to shape out a little bit.
yeah, he Strickland but he made his point clear, like, one, he's brutal, obviously, like, what he did to Lie or him and his people did to Lie, and not only like, they didn't just straight up kill her, they obviously, like, tortured her or whatever they did, and then left
Mhm.
her on Nellie's doorstep as, like, a, "Here's your trash" kinda thing, like, that was even more just, ugh, even though, like, obviously outside of just straight up murdering Lie, but then you have him he did what I thought he was gonna do. There was no way he was gonna allow Chinese labor to be outlawed, like
Yep.
Buckley was wanting and everything. He's he says it when him and Leary are walking around like it's what is it? The costs of material is not gone down. Like there's no way. And yeah, I'm like you. I want him out, but that I can still make my money by
Mhm.
doing this. And so like there was zero chance he was going to let Buckley outlaw Chinese labor. So if I'm trying to think where that puts him with obviously Leary is pushing against that as he blew up his bridge and was like, "Oh, I'll build it again. I'll blow it up again. We're in a we're in a stalemate.
We're just gonna go
Um,
into circles with this one.
we're just gonna keep going in circles because like I wonder is do you think Strickland underestimates Leary or does Leary overestimate his gangsterness? I say that even though that last scene with him was pretty gangster.
That was pretty that last scene with him. Oh my goodness. That was brutal. That was very brutal. It was very American History X. And
Right? Yeah, that's what yeah. Curb stomp, but on a bar. Ooh.
a bar stomp. I was like, oh, and then he yells,
Ooh.
gets that battle cry. I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna spell trouble. I think he's gonna kill like all the security just so just a toy has just free range to go after Strickland too. It's gonna be great. But I think that Strickland overplays his hand, overplayed his hand,
Mm.
because he probably could have used O'Leary a little bit more before really he went back on his word. Like he said, why want to pay? Why would I pay double? Why would I pay your people double when I have this labor that pretty much works for dirt cheap? And like you said, the material and everything like that is going up.
And he
And
says like half like they work half of what the Chinese work. Like it was like they're double the pay and do half the work the Chinese do. So they're not even like that good of workers.
oh, well then, why would I like that
Yeah,
was
why would
I'm kind of with Strickland on that, but at the same time, I'm like, you kind of used O'Leary to get there, and you didn't know. The problem is he doesn't know O'Leary's past, like that, blowing up businesses. Yeah, that's an oldie but a goodie for him. But like he did with Penny and the iron. I think the metalworks factory or
I
whatever
think
she had
so.
from her father.
Yeah. Yeah.
He blew that up. So this is pretty much his calling card of like, you know, you pissed me off one time and this is it. I'm gonna blow your business up and
Mhm.
you're gonna send 5 people after me. I'm gonna beat the crap out of them. And now I'm coming after you full steam ahead with no problems. Because clearly
Mhm.
your people cannot protect you.
Nope, nope. They're in trouble. Like I don't know how many Lie took out, but uh it would be
Mhm.
interesting if in the final episode like there was almost like a we hate each other, but there's a truce. Like the enemy of my enemy, like however the saying goes, is my friend or whatever. Um,
Mhm.
if a toy and Leary both show up at the house and like, I'm gonna kill him. Are you gonna kill him? Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. Okay, let's work on this together. I don't know that that's gonna happen, but that would be an interesting setup for the final episode.
Like O'Leary becomes her Assam
You're right.
because he
Yeah, like
doesn't use weapons either.
yeah, and I was expecting, Assam to maybe try and help a toy, but obviously with everything going on with the Hopway and Yanmi and all that, Yanmi, I mean, and yeah, that maybe that's a route that goes, or a toy like destroys him and he's just there like barely like breathing, and then Leary like
Mm.
comes in and finishes it off and gets like a final word or something.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Get that little that gangster rap CD again. Just
Yeah,
those two
right.
standing
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Like I'm very like this. Like I said, there's so many of the chess pieces being moved this episode. They did a really good job with that part, especially with O'Hara becoming, finally. Can we all please give a clap for Sergeant? Oh, I'm sorry, Chief O'Hara. My bad. He's chief now. He's
He's
police chief.
chief.
Finally becoming a police chief, just like his father in the past. I like that. Like I like that sentimental moment where he's walking past his father's picture and kind of fixing it up and everything.
Mhm.
I was very happy to finally see. It was a relief to see him finally get the job that he's been working so hard for, that practically lost his family for. So, and also gained them back. But I was very happy to see his story finally have, well, kind of have a happy, not a happy ending, but a happy, um, I don't know the word,
Like,
but
good
happy.
thing finally happened to him.
Yeah, because he just got done fighting Atwood, and I love that scene. I love this scene though, because he's like, I didn't think he was going to get arrested. I think I did say last week that I think he's going to offer him the chief of police. Hopefully, I was hoping
Mhm.
that, and it happened. I'm very happy for Mister Captain O'Hara.
Yeah, it's great to see Bill finally get the job that he's been wanting for so long. It's funny it's under these circumstances though. It's like apparently Atwood's jaw is shut, so like, he needs a new chief of police. Do you think Atwood maybe he doesn't come into play in the season finale, but do you think Atwood comes into play if in fact there is a season 4? Do you think he comes back around in some way?
I think so. I think he's going to
Because he is a
not try to
psychopath.
get. Yeah, he and him losing that position kind of would, that the way he lost it would definitely, and he has his own minions. He still has the rest of the police force that came from New York with him. So it's not like he's gonna he would be, he would be like a Strickland foil, like not as smart, but he would be like graduate to um um antagonist A, for next season. I think, and create a lot of problems for the police force, where the Chinese are probably going to have to step in and help out O'Hara too, just like O'Hara's helped out in the Chinese, especially that Chinatown riot. He was like the main one fighting back against all the Irishmen. So it
Mhm.
was, we and mostly the city is Irish. I like, well, not like, but I see what I forgot his name. Buckley. What Buckley said, it's easy to get rid of a New York
What
Protestant.
yeah, one New York Protestant, yeah.
So I think that he definitely comes back with a vengeance, because you're gonna get my jaw wire shut. We're not done yet.
Yeah, I don't see him just going away quietly, but again, I don't know that that's necessarily worked out in the next episode. I think it's just
Mhm.
O'Hara with Lee, with Mosley, trying to get the plates, and that's gonna be the focus in terms of what the cops are gonna be doing in the next episode. I don't see Atwood coming into play just yet, but yeah, maybe he's a antagonist or problem in season 4. Um, but yeah, with O'Hara, for one, very sore on the um, but it was cool to get even like the nice moment, like, you know,
Hold on, Michael, you're breaking out. Shit, something's going on with the think something happened with the connection with Michael right now. 1 second. Uh-oh. He's frozen. Oh, Michael is frozen. Um, yeah. That's weird. I don't know whose side it might be on. Oh, see if he tries to come back. Um, yeah, but it with the Mosley situation, we're gonna wait to see if he comes back here. With Mosley and O'Hara and everything, I think we're gonna have a long fight scene next episode inside of the ice factory. Michael is, Michael, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna try to get Michael back real quick, just in case. We're gonna let me see real quick. Sorry, this is the second episode in a row where we are having technical difficulties. This is unheard of. Okay, I don't know. It was my fault. I think maybe, hmm, it's Houston. Just in case everybody doesn't know. Well, until Michael comes back. I'm in a different state right now. Um, so most of the time, as you guys know, the episodes go flawlessly most of the time. Last episode, my connection to my mic to the computer was very, what, I don't know. I just touched a wire and the mic went out. And then last and now this week, it's Houston. You never know. Like the internet will go down just like that. You get, yo, I'm letting you guys know. Like Texas infrastructure, technology wise, can be very trash. So that's why I'm just sitting here like, it, that's probably what's going on right now. Like it can happen like in a snap. It's kind of weird that it's happening now. Oh man. Yeah, I think he just completely lost connection. Yeah, because he's not even, yeah. Oh man. That's crazy, man. It's so I'm not gonna continue. I'm not gonna do all this craziness with the pod. But this was episode 9 of season 3 of Warrior. I think we touched on practically everything anyway. Let me make sure that we did. Uh, yeah, the curb stomp with O'Leary. That was well, yeah, like you said, the bar stomp was very sick. That was sick. That was a disgusting, uh, brutal scene that we had to get that we got to see from O'Leary with the Strickland boys. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. I think his connection just went down. That's crazy. So we're gonna try to give him a couple more minutes. Try to like him. I'm gonna try to feed in a couple more minutes of stuff. Yeah. So um so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a break this week with the pen. This was, like I said, this was a very short episode. It was 45 minutes. A lot happened in those 45 minutes. The chess pieces are starting to get in place. Um, I'm I want to see if like that, because there was a final, like in the 30-second clip. Assam is clearly fighting, has been fighting, and he's tells somebody to come here. I wonder if it's people of the Hopway that he is fighting against to fighting against for Yan Mi. Or he's fighting Happy Jack's people, because we saw him kill a few of them too in the 30-second clip. So sorry, just a little bit of spoiler. It's just 30-second clip, man. Calm down. They ain't show too much. But I think that's going to be a very long fight scene. I think that the episode's going to start off with, Hopway finding out that the cops know where the counterfeits are, that that actually them finding out that Yan Mi got arrested, and then also knowing that the cops found out where the plates are, and now like we saw in the clip, you know, young June telling him, yo, you gotta choose now. It's your time to choose now. Are you with us, or are you with, by yourself? It's up to you. Pretty much I think Assam will fight. Oh, there he is. Okay, we got Michael back. I think we got Michael back. There we go. I think we got him back.
So my internet decided to go out. That was fun.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm sorry.
I was saying that Houston's weird, has a really bad technical infrastructure for some reason, and the internet, like you can have perfect internet for like 2 to 3 weeks in a row, and then like just out of nowhere it will go out. It doesn't matter. So
Yeah, that was depressing. That sucked.
I held this afloat for as long as I said. Let me give him a couple more minutes, because I already know it probably just pop back on too.
Well, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, I think it was something about that. But anyway, continue.
I was talking about the 30-second clip a little bit with
Hmm.
young June telling Assam that he has a choice now, like either you're with us or against us, pretty much. And also what I think is going to happen in the next episode, where I think that we get like maybe 5 to 10 minute clip of everybody getting ready and set to get all their talking out of the way, and then we're going to have a long fight scene, inside of the ice factory for the plates
Mhm.
between the cops, the Hopway, the Long Z, and Isaac's new crew. I think that's a lot of conflicting factions going after these four little plates.
Yeah, I wonder, well, I wonder too if Chow, with what he's doing, if he's gonna try and set it up to where, um, Isaac's crew is the one, like, running the plates and try and make it look like that to the cops, even though Assam has probably told them already about all the dealings and whatnot, so, I don't know, it's probably not good for Assam because the cops are probably gonna get mad at him because I think you said it earlier, they're gonna think it's a trap in some ways, and, Assam didn't expect it to be that, unless Chow gets word to Lee somehow, some way. I don't know that that would necessarily be the case
Mhm.
either, though. Yeah, the ice factory is gonna be a war zone in some ways, um, but also does, because in that 30-second, like, preview of the next episode, it looks like Assam is obviously fighting, different folks. To me, he's probably fighting the Hop Way, but also
Mhm.
he seems to fight Isaac, and then it seems like Young Jun is going after Mai Ling because he can. I wonder if he treats it like she's weak right now, and let me try and eliminate her from the picture. Um, I don't think that'll be like, I think it'll get close, but I don't think that'll be the case. Um, but Lee Yong not being present is going to be a
Mhm.
huge factor for Mai Ling, and realizing how much she needs him in the end.
Yeah, it's because I couldn't really see like the what the people were wearing in the clip where they were, I guess, standing over her about to stab. Well, clearly they probably gonna miss, but I was that Hopway uniform?
It looked like Hopway. It looked like the suit jacket and everything. It looked like a Hopway member was using a hatchet about to try and hit her.
Okay, that's why. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Like I needed the confirmation myself, but my eyes can trick me sometimes. So I just, I would have definitely been like, yeah, I think it's a cop. um, yeah. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, that is an interesting storyline. I didn't think it that way with Young June seeing that Lee Young, but I think in that case, well, the way this is pretty much going, Lee Young's gonna come out of nowhere and like save her just
Mm,
because he still has love for her. It's not like I think he actually he's here for love and he's going to protect her no matter what. I mean, he literally killed his best friend to save her. So I think out of like I said, out of nowhere he comes and he fights for her and protects her from the Hopway, and then boom, we back in the war with Longzi and Hopway.
would you think of her scene with Lee Yong when he shows up and she's surrounded by the six guards, and she wasn't like, I don't know if you're gonna hurt me or not, and what'd you think of that scene?
That was not smart. um, did she really think that they were going to stop him? If it did come down to it, like none of them were. First of all, they respect him too much. I don't think they would have actually attacked him. But the dude that put his hand on him was like kind of testing it a little bit, like seeing like, well, you see, there's like 6 or 7 of us in here. I was still gonna run through y'all just to get to her. Like it didn't matter. Like it was like kind of those whole, I'm gonna test you real quick and see if you're really gonna do this. And he almost found out from Lee Young. Like, but I think them
Yeah.
having complete respect for him, I think that was just a bad move on her part because now you kind of like now you created a rift between you, an even bigger rift between y'all. For what reason? And that's like your main bodyguard.
And it's her husband now, right? Like, that's your,
Mhm.
yeah, that's your significant other, and you're, like, afraid. To me, it was like she was playing the victim card in a sense, where it's like, I don't know, you could, and I mean, I guess, yeah, you would be worried, but it's like, you also put Lee Yong in a weird spot where all the elders are dead.
Let's go. Oh, you get
All
you.
the elders are dead. Hello. all the
So,
elders are dead and everything, and it's a weird spot that she put Lee Young in.
oh, sorry, everyone. My brother's making a guest appearance here. You
Hi,
want to say
brother.
hi?
Hello?
This is the podcast.
Oh. I was actually looking for my wallet. You seen that?
Nah, I didn't see. Sorry.
I didn't see his wallet either. I don't know where it is.
Wait, nah, I didn't see your wallet.
That's cool. I lose it all the time.
Sorry. What were you saying?
I'm out of here.
My backer. But sorry. Special guest. I'm inside his house, so I'm a guest now. So All right. But with the long man, I lost train of thought. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, I was just saying about my Ling. It was just weird to me that she's the one that seems hurt by everything, and it's like, I'm pretty sure you had all the people murdered in the last episode, and I was a little like, come on, like it felt like trying to make Lee Young the bad guy, where it's like, oh, I don't know what he's gonna do, and da 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 da. It's like, and then on top of that, like on top of her going behind his back, killing everyone, she thinks that he would hurt her, like, and he was like that. I don't know. Obviously, everything has hurt him so bad, but like that was like a final stab. It felt like for him, where it's like, you think I would actually like hurt you? Like, you obviously you don't know me. Like, I think that was one of the reads I had on it, and just like it felt like he quit. Like when he threw down his jacket, it felt like he quit. But also, I wrote down on my notes, you're gonna need a whole lot more guards than 6 to stop him. Like he would run through all 6 with no problem. Like he had the one dude like by the throat or shoulder or whatever, and that dude would have been done in an instant. Like, again, Lee Young is arguably the best fighter in that whole area, in that city, outside of Assam. Like, those are the top 2 fighters, and arguably Lee Young has proven he's the number 1, and there's no chance that 6 dudes are gonna stop him. Like, there's just no chance.
And if there's one person that you're going to gaslight that you absolutely have no ability to gaslight, it's Leon. Like he knows her like the back of his hand. So I don't understand why she would even try that move with him. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to hurt me. No, what? You know who I am. Like, why would I do that? I like, we've been going at this. I literally fought and killed my friend for you after you killed all the elders. So what else did you how much more could he have proved to her that he was kind of
Yeah.
down? It's just it's yeah, I'm like, yeah, he would have ran through those guys. It would have been too easy. Like Assam fought them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an interesting spot now that Lee Young's in, and I assume he's quit the Tong, and I assume that he's kind of a lone, like, I don't want to say lone gunman, but like a lone fighter, if you will. Like, he's just kind of out on his own now, and where he goes from here, who knows? I think he's in an interesting spot. I wonder if he's shown at all in the season finale. If he, like
Ooh.
you said, he may come through in the clutch to save her, but I wonder if he doesn't. Like, if he's just out of the whole thing completely, because he's just kind of done with everything.
Or, and this is just my last thing with that, does Assam come and save her from the Hopway again?
I thought that, but I was thinking he's probably going to be so tied up in his own fighting with the Hopway and stuff. Like, maybe that's what triggers him to fight the Hopway, is that he finds out they're going after Mai Ling. Maybe it's something along those lines, but because like maybe he gets through on the whole ice factory thing. Like, maybe he skirts by, but I think something's happening with him in the Hopway where he's going to have to fight him, and then Hong's going to have to make a decision as well.
Oh yeah, I think that it might come down to a decision where he has to save Yami or Mai Ling. Like, are you going to save your sister? Or are you going to save the person you love? Like I think he's gonna have that Sophie's choice, and that's gonna be
Ooh.
that's gonna be the thing that we see. Like when I was talking about the final thing that we saw was him like telling somebody to come here, and
Mhm.
I wonder if he's fighting the hop way, like he's kind of backed himself into a corner to have he has to fight all the hop way off or something like
It
that.
looked like it was in their like headquarters or wherever. It did look like it was there, so that's why I'm thinking he's gonna have to go toe to toe with the Hopway in the next
Mhm.
episode.
Pretty much kill off his bloodline with like his sister, him, and Yami. Like just cut them all off completely, cut the heads off completely.
Ooh, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be Sam is going to be forever changed in this next episode because he's finally going to be fighting for what he believes in. But
Hmm.
is the numbers game going to be too much for him? And is it going to be, like you said, like a choice where I have to save my sister or do I save Yan Mi? I can't save them both. I got to save one. Like, I wonder if he's stuck in that kind of predicament. But if, let's say he does get by, then you have Lee Yong and Assam both on the outs. Where do those two go in terms of everything? Do they come together? Or does Lee Young help Assam because of Assam fighting for Yan Mi? Like, I mean, I wonder if that it comes into play. But I have a strong feeling that we're not going to see Lee Young, and his absence is going to be very telling for Mai Ling.
So we don't get to see Joe Talisman fight one more time.
I
Oh
know.
man.
I love that dude's fight. But I don't know if I said this in the last episode when he had his big moment with Kung Pak and everything. But Joe Taslim, you often think of him as just a martial arts actor and fighter and all this and that. But I really like in the last couple of episodes, they really like, I mean, he's shown emotion previously, but it was like really putting him on a pedestal to really showcase what he can do acting wise. Because I think sometimes he's underutilized in that respect. He's a good actor that just
Mhm.
doesn't get shine in that way all the time. He obviously he's used for what he can do fight choreography wise, and he's great at that. But he's a very good actor, and maybe I'm misrepresenting what I've seen, but like to me, he's really good, and you really saw that in these last two episodes. If you haven't already, what
Mhm.
kind of emotional range he has.
Hey, he's got that range, man. I haven't seen anything else like that's hasn't been fighting action movie wise for him.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know any of those credits. All I know is him from this show and then Mortal Kombat. But I remember him in another show. I just can't remember right now. But
There's
was it?
there's a show. I don't know if it's this one, but there's a not a show, a movie on Netflix called The Night Comes for Us, I think is the name, and Joe Taslim's the star, and it's amazing. It is definitely martial arts heavy, but it
Mhm.
is a bit of a drama, and maybe that's not the best scenario because he is just going around like just fighting a bunch of people and stuff like that. But it is
Mhm.
very brutal, very interesting, and he is on full display. He's also in the Raid, the first Raid movie,
I
the
need
Raid
to see the
Redemption.
raid.
You haven't seen the
You've
Raid?
talked about this a few times, and it seems like something that's very much up my alley. I just have not watched them.
This would
I
you
gotta
would
watch them.
love the Raid. The Raid is one of the best action movies ever. It's
Is
great. The Raid Redemption is really, really good.
now is that sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I know we're supposed to be talking about
Tangent.
Warrior, but but is that like Game of Death? Like where he's going up different levels to get to the
Floors and
top of guy?
everything.
Mm,
Kind of like that. It's very much like if for folks that have seen that newer Judge Dredd movie, it's very much in that vein. But Raid Redemption came out before Judge Dredd, just a heads up. So the Judge Dredd is kind of like the Raid Redemption, actually. Um,
mm-hmm,
but it's very much in that vein of like working different because it's a task force going into this apartment building that this drug lord like basically runs himself with all his people, and they go floor by floor trying to clear it out and arrest the people, and then things obviously don't work out that way. And Iko Uwais is the star. Joe Taslim's in it as well. Um, I forget the guy's name, but he was in John Wick 3. He has arguably one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen against Iko Uwais and another actor. So it's really good. It's the Raid Redemption's really, really good.
Eco Uice had a show with the other star from Mortal Kombat.
Woo Assassins.
Yes. Yes. And we only got one season of we got one season in a movie.
And a movie. Yeah.
It should just gave us a second season and kept it moving. Like I love that
Yeah.
show.
The
was
movie
not a
was
great actor.
the movie was not good, but the show was. I enjoyed the show a lot, and there's moments in that show that are really cool. Iko Uwais beating up racist is always. I love it.
Fun.
I love it every time. But yeah, it was good. It was a good show, and so yeah, if you want to check out Iko Uwais, he is also in that movie with Joe Taslim, The Night Comes for Us, I think is the name of it. But Iko is also in it, and he's actually the antagonist in that one, which is a kind of a switch. He's normally a protagonist in most things. So yeah, go check out that, and go check out Joe Taslim because he's a phenomenal actor, as we saw in Warrior. We brought it back. See, we did it. We did it. We made it back.
And we are. But do you have any other final thoughts from Warrior?
No, I know we got to run, so I just wanted to say, just if you haven't been watching it, go watch more Warrior. Go watch season 1 and season 2. It's a phenomenal show, and things are really going to come to a head in this next episode, and I can't wait for Thursday when it comes out.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Thursday to tell the truth. And then if you need any more if you need to be proven anymore how great this show is, definitely go check out Michael's Substack, where he writes about Warrior and why you should be watching it.
It's true.
Okay.
Just putting it out there. There is a Substack that you can subscribe to. Thoughts from a Nerd. That's me, Michael Carrell. Just search that or my name on Substack and you'll see it there. But yeah, one of the pieces I wrote was why you should watch Warrior, and because it's a great show, so you should watch it. I also have my most newslettery post, I guess, if you will, that's going to come out this week on my Substack. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, I should be on the lookout. Definitely subscribe to the Substack. The information will be in the description of this episode. We'll
down
make sure.
there.
So it's definitely going to be a link in the little area over here in the YouTube comments or wherever you're consuming the podcast. But sorry everyone, I gotta run out because I have to go catch a plane back home. So with Michael, where can they find you?
As always, you can follow me on all your social media platforms except for Blue Sky, because I never got a code, at Producer Mike 975 on all your favorite social media platforms. And then you can follow Comic Cast on all your favorite podcast platforms, COMICAST. We have issue 498 releasing this week. I believe it'll be Monday, August 14th. So be on the lookout for that. Jong returns. Hey, Jong Lee is coming back to the podcast. So we're going to catch up with Jong. Very excited for that. And then, like I just said, if you want to subscribe to my Substack, Thoughts from a Nerd, it's by Michael Carrell. That's me. Just search that and subscribe. Hey, it's free. I don't charge. What am I? I'm not good enough to charge. Please. Maybe one day. I'm not there yet. But yeah, you can check that out as well.
But and make sure you guys definitely check out Comic Cast. They talk about all things comic books, nerdism, sometimes anime and video games.
True.
Sometimes video games also.
True.
But definitely check out with him and John on all the platforms except for Stitcher, because Stitcher is leaving at the end of this month. So
yeah,
RIP 15 years of your service. Thank you, Stitcher, for all you've done. He said Blue Sky.
Yeah, Blue Sky. I don't have a social media platform, or I don't have a an account on Blue Sky as of yet. I signed up for the waiting list. I don't remember when, and I still am waiting. I have no idea where that is. I still don't have a code, so I have no idea how that works. But I am on Threads and that Twitter thing. I'm not calling it X. That's just weird.
I refuse. I
I
refuse to call you
refuse.
X.
Yeah,
All
no.
right, I refuse your name. All right. But where you can find the Cruise Podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, YouTube. Anywhere else that you can find podcast needs, that's where you can find the Cruising Podcast / Warrior Cast with Michael Carrell. And where you can find latest updates to the show is on Instagram at Cruising Podcast, also on Twitter at Nicetown Finest. And today was a great day. Hopefully everybody stay safe out there. If you have, do you have anything else, Michael?
No, just I promise my internet works next week.
The internet will be working next week, promise. And don't move to a state where it can be fragile sometimes, especially Houston. But with that, I would like to say, everybody, love you guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and catch you guys later. Deuces.